Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Gonna be getting back to work in the garage today and working on something a little different. If you have been following this channel for a long time, you might have noticed in the background there was a motorcycle engine that has been sitting in front of my workbench for years. This goes back to an old project bike of mine that I bought years ago, and I haven't even had it for a couple of years. But it was a 2005 Ninja 250 that I picked up with an engine with a rod knock. Picked it up, found another used engine on Craigslist. That gives you an idea how long ago this was. And swapped engines and built a nice running bike that I rode for a few years and then sold off probably 5 years ago. It's been a while. But anyway, engine's been sitting around my garage all this time, waiting to either be just sold as is or parted out or repaired. I've been kind of trying to figure out what I want to do with it. So I have decided I am going to tear it down, part it out, and I'd like to inspect and just see how bad the damage was and what was going on. Because it had a light rod knock. It wasn't terrible. It would run, but it definitely was noisy. So sick of tripping over this thing and need to get it out of the way. With all the work that I was doing in the garage over the last few months, it's just been kind of a anchor that I keep catching my foot on, and it's just in the way. You can see it there on the floor in front of the Cobra, and I need to just get it out of here. So I'm gonna go ahead, grab it. I need to drain the oil out of it, make sure there's no coolant left in it, and I'm just gonna walk through a teardown and kind of investigate how bad it was and bring you along for the journey. So I'm gonna grab some gloves and start getting this thing cleaned up and ready to tear down. So this is the engine in question. It has been sitting like this again for years. It doesn't have the carbs or anything on it. Those went in, or went onto the replacement engine. I've got, the old headers there. There's, the bellows for the carburetors. But yeah, it's a 250cc off of a 2005 Kawasaki Ninja. But I mean, it's pretty complete other than, missing the carbs. So I figure this is a good candidate to be just torn down and parted out. I can sell the head, cams, jugs, casings, things like that, and see if the crank is salvageable. There's plenty of parts in here that I can pull out of it and throw up on eBay. So that is kind of my plan of attack. So I've already dumped it out once before, but I'm just going to make sure that there is no water in it, and then put it over the oil drain pan, drain the oil out of the bottom of it. I don't think there's much left in it. But I'd better be safe than sorry. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing ready to go throw up on the workbench and start taking the top end apart. All right, use the 17 mil. Drain plug is on the bottom, right down there, next to the oil filter housing. So I pulled the plug, drained all the oil out of it. So all set. I also dunked it upside down, made sure there was no coolant left in it, and it was empty, which I thought it was. So now I'm gonna go ahead, pull it up, get it up on my bench, and then I can start tearing down the top end. As you can see, engine is up on one of my little mobile workbench carts. And I'm starting to put together a stockpile of parts to go up online for sale. So I'm going to start up with the top end. So that is gonna be removing the valve cover. Then once the valve cover is removed, it's going to be getting the cams and tensioner loosened, and then I can pull the head off, and then it's going to be the jugs and then everything on the lower end. So I'm going to start here, work my way down. So I'm going to grab a 10 mil, pull those bolts out, see if I can get the valve cover off, and then just continue from there. So I'm going to go ahead, get that removed first, and a quick little walk around. As you can see, it's all pretty straightforward. But yeah, like I said, let me get the 10 mil, get the valve cover off, and then I will be back after that. As you can see, the 4 10 mil bolts are out, they're right there. And then just to pop the valve cover off, right here on the back, there's this little boss and there's a gap. You can get a small pry bar or flathead in there and you just do a little bit of prying, and it'll come right loose just like that. Once that's out, just grab the valve cover itself and it'll come right off. And boom, there we have the valve train, seals, chain, and all of the necessary parts. So I'm gonna move or get some of these seals out of here, and then I'll start walking through the next steps. So for this model, the cam tensioner is actually right here, and it's 2 8mm bolts that hold it in. You can see I've already loosened it up some. and you feel there's tension on it. So be careful removing it. Once you remove that, it should release. There's a pivot arm that goes along the front here that's putting pressure this way on the chain itself. Removing this will release the pressure on the chain, and then we can go ahead and start removing all the cap bolts up here and everything, and remove the actual camshafts. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish removing that tensioner and be right back. Tensioner is removed. You can see it's over here. This is what it looks like. There's like a push rod in the housing that's spring loaded. And then once you do that, if you stick like a screwdriver or a pry bar down in here, you'll be able to push against the chain. You can see it this angle. You'll push against the chain and you'll feel the tension release off of it. So all set there. So now it's gonna grab a 10 mil and I can start removing this guide as well as all of the cam bolts, the cam cap bolts here, and across the front. And then we can get the cams removed, and then the head will be ready to come off. And here you can see all the caps are removed. One thing I will say is as you're removing the bolts, do a little bit at a time so you don't risk warping anything, because you'll feel the tension of the valve springs pushing up against the cams. So just do a little bit, and I just kind of work my way around until all of the bolts are loose by hand. Then pull the bolts out. These caps here, which are the smaller ones, came off pretty easy. These ones here, they have seals that hold them to the spark plug holes. So yeah, just give them a little whack with I used to use my ratchet, and then just tap them loose and then they'll pop off. And then the one long one across here was pretty easy to come off as well. So now the cams are loose. Should be able to just work them out by moving the chain and walking the cams out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. Cams removed, and again, don't let your chain fall down if you're only working in the top end. So just drape it over there. The way I did this is, the intake cam was loose. I was able to pull that and walk it this way, and that just relieved all the pressure off of the chain, walked the intake cam out, and then it was easy to pick up and remove the exhaust cam. Here you can see the tensioner. This is, right there. This is what was pushing the pressure on the chain and what was being pushed down on by the tensioner that was in that hole. So now that that's all removed, it is a matter of removing the bolts that hold the cylinder head onto the jugs. So here are the head bolts. There. Those are all 12 mils. And before you do anything with the head, you are gonna remove the oil feed line, which goes in here. And again, that's a 12 mil as well. Just loosen it up. You can take the line off and then just put the bolt back in there. And now I'm gonna grab a breaker bar, 12 mil, and get those bolts all loosened up. As you can see, all the head bolts are loosened. I had to just use a 1/2-inch breaker bar, get enough torque on them, and they popped. And they're all to the point where you can pull them out freely, so should be good to go. So now it's just gonna be a little whack on the head, or give it a little pull, and it should come off of the actual bores. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the head removed. Check that. You also do need to take out, there's a 10 mil that goes in here from the bottom upward. Once you pull that out, then they will separate. So now I'm gonna go ahead and pull off the head. You can see it's loose. All right, one final check that. There is a 12 millimeter head on the side here of this. And what this does is it covers the pin that holds in the tensioner at the top. You need to remove this, and then you will pull out this little pin with a pair of pliers, just gently. It'll work its way out. Then you pull the tensioner back, and then the head will be released. That was the last thing holding it on, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove it now. And here you can see the head is removed. When you do pull it up, you will pull out the tensioner, or like the chain guide that is on the front side of the engine. It kind of just hangs up in the channel here because it just lays in place. So that will come out with it. But again, you got all your bolts. The shorter one is obviously the one that goes here. All the longer ones are the ones that actually go around the cylinder bores. And then I've got all the cam caps and everything exactly how I took them out. Put the cams back exactly where I took them out and whatnot. So there is the valve train removed from the engine. Back over at the engine. And next thing to remove is the jugs. But you can't remove those unless you disconnect the cooling system that's hooked up here. Now what I'm gonna do, being that I'm doing a complete disassembly, is I'm gonna go ahead and unbolt the housing here, as well as the water pump and everything, and just take it all off as one unit So there should be like a little bolt here and a few other, bits of hardware that hold that all on there. But again, I'm stripping this thing down, so that's kind of why I want to do it this way. So I'm gonna go ahead, grab, it looks like it's a lot of 10 mils, and start removing all of those parts, get the cooling water, the passages and everything removed, and then I'll be back as far as removing the jugs. I am gonna probably take this over and do it over like a pan or something, because I'm sure that even though I've dumped it out upside down, there's still some residual coolant in the system. That way I can get it all out of here and not make a mess all over my bench here. All right, removed here, and those are 8mm, not 10mm. And then this bolt here, so this is loose as well. You can say just put the bolt back in behind it. So next is gonna be the water pump itself, which is down here, and these are gonna be 10 mils. So I'm gonna go ahead, grab the engine, put it over a little tray, and get those 10 mils removed. As you can see, the housing is removed. So the water pump impeller is actually part of the engine assembly. But then you take the housing off, and it's just, like I said, 3 perimeter 10mm bolts. Pretty straightforward. Those came out. In theory, there should also be a 4th one here, but mine was missing. I don't know if I pulled that out when I swapped engines. I can't remember. It's been so long. But yeah, so just, those perimeter 10mm. This one doesn't need to come out. It's that, and that, as you can see there, 4 bolts that hold the housing to the actual engine case. So now that that is removed, it should be as simple as coming around here and just moving a couple of things out of the way, and you should be able to just pull the jugs right off of the block itself. As you can see, I got the jugs removed right there. Pretty straightforward. Like I said, if you could wiggle it and feel it move a little bit, and I just kind of got under a corner of it with a small pry bar just to give it a little leverage, because you are going to be fighting the rings, and this engine's been sitting for a long time, but actually the bores look pretty good. So good to go there. Now, as soon as I pulled that off, I was like, all right, so I wonder where my rod knock was. So first piston, move up and down on it, good and tight, no noise. Second piston, there's your noise. That is a lot of movement down in the bottom end of that rod. So there's my rod knock. Problem, mystery solved. And with that, I think this is a good stopping point for this video. I don't want to do anything that's going to be too long, so I figure I can break it up in a couple videos and have the top end portion. Next video I'll probably be taking off the side covers, starter, things like that, breaking it down, and then I can probably do a final video splitting the cases and just seeing what all is involved with that and what you find on the inside, and just the final dissection / results. So that being said, if you like what you're seeing, you want to follow along, please hit like, please hit subscribe, please hit the notification bell. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I do review them. I will reply. I do have a second YouTube channel devoted to firearm content. If that's something you're interested in, please check it out. There's a link in the description of this video. I also have a Rumble channel where I'm posting firearm content as well. If you're on Rumble, I'd appreciate if you would head over to my page and like it. Link in the description. I have some merch I'm selling on a Fourth Wall store, all kinds of stuff, automotive, aircraft, aviation, freedom, firearms, apparel, glasses, things like that. Link in the description below if you want to check it out. Plus, there should be some items tagged in the video. That being said, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.